Jupiter's ego is the funniest thing I know. I always, when I ponder Jupiter's ego, I sit to myself, and now I get camera shy, so I can't express the, I always laugh to myself. I was at the gym before, and I started to think about Jupiter's ego, and I can't. I have to let go, like, so people won't see me sitting laughing to myself, like, thinking I'm nuts. Because when I think about his ego, he's so fucking cute. Jupiter is so fucking cute. He's got now see, he's got the biggest, largest ego, but and he's got his false assumptions about virtue and what's right and what's wrong and yada yada. But he's so fucking forgivable because he looks so fucking cute and stupid. So you get this gurgly laugh. He's just Jupiter. He's so fucking fine. He's so fucking beautiful. He's but he can be so scary. He can be man, when he shows his nasty sides. Yeah, he can become abusive, and he can be really sadistic, and he's if you know Jupiter in the myth, he's a tyrant. He's a god king, a tyrant. So it is so scary because with Saturn, he's evil. He's just evil. You just do as I say or die. Do or die. It's easy. So you don't have to be so scared. But with Jupiter, he's so fucking kind, known as the master of beneficence. So fucking kind. But then he can get so fucking gruesomely evil that it gets so you get cognitive dissonance. You get so scared of him because it's so unfitting for such a nice cute person to suddenly become so fucking evil that your mind can't grasp what the fuck happened. And he's the most scariest god of all because of the switch between goodness and pure. Not evil is strength. Is just death is contrary to life. Evil, live. It's death. Evil is inverted life, so it's just death. So it's nothing scary really. But Jupiter, he's gruesomely cruel, and it's describing his I call it cruelty. Immense cruelty. If you see how he during the Piscean age, how he tortured and burned, which he slaughtered. They slaughtered during the Piscean age. It was just a big fucking slaughter, and burning witches at the stakes. And if the witches could swim while they sunk them. Nobody had a chance to survive. The decree was just torment and torture everybody until they just do as I say. And I think it started with a quite virtuous decree. He wanted to separate all the gods from the humans because the gods were slaughtering their own kind. We were offering our babies over to sick gods who was just keeping us in slavery, and we were enslaved by them and sacrificing our own kind children and our most beautifulest virgins and daughters and sons and babies, even the most beautiful things of our own kind, our own babies, we gave to like Moloch. So we had to, it started with as everything always starts with a beautiful intent. Oh, it's like almost always it is that way. But then we die and people forget and reincarnate and try to proceed the struggle while traumatized. And I mean, and so the whole Bible just got a got made into a big fucking corpse-like mess of narcissistic superego, because those who were worrying to separate the guys from men, they just got so traumatized they couldn't keep a straight line. So the Bible just became a book that looks like it's written by a maniac, like switched from a borderline to a manic depressive to a psychotic pup to some other pup who's just sick, just a narcissistic sick superego. The whole Bible, if you read it, it's just contradictory. It's just like a sick narcissistic superego. So but anyway, this was supposed to be about Jupiter. He's so fucking cute. He surprised me. It surprised me that he didn't come earlier to save me, because of for so many years I was abused by Belial, and I screamed and I thought, where the fuck is Jupiter? Because he's the demon fighter. Why doesn't he come and save me? And every time I got in touch with him, he was just like up in the clouds. You see him in the astral. In the imagine that you see him, if your third eye is open, you see him. So I saw him, and you always. Now he's can be a little bit everywhere around. It's not the same. He's so close to me now, but then he was always above, and it was like he was just sad, like he couldn't do anything. And I was so surprised, because what the fuck, you're supposed to be the demon fighter, and these are fucking demons. It said in the Goetia, it said in every text that these are fucking demons and you're supposed to fight them. But he just like cried and pulled away, and it surprised me so fucking much. Like, what, am I not worthy of your protection? What the fuck about why? Because I see others who are demon fighters who are protected by him, like, but they have him retrograde in the astrological chart, so it's something they have some kind of deal with him, like they are his extensions in the world to fight demons, so they get his protection. And I'm Saturnian, and Saturn and Jupiter are like they're not enemies, but they're opposites, polar opposites. So sometimes they're enemies. Not, I don't remember the astrological term now, but Jupiter always helps Saturn. Saturn just fucks up, but it isn't true, because I'm Saturnian and my brother's Jupiterian, and yeah, maybe but I was traumatized by my parents so badly, And he was so young when my father started to get violent that he doesn't remember as I did. I was in that critical age between 6 to 7, so I remember everything, and there was no one there to because trauma means you are emotionally overwhelmed by something and you can't handle it yourself. So it gets you get PTSD from it, and it happened to me so many times because I was all alone, and no parent, no grown up, no one could help me with the emotional overwhelmness of the violence of my alcoholic parents. So I was heavily traumatized, while my brother was too little to become traumatized because below a certain age, yeah. But when in the critical age of like 6 to 7, where I was when my father started drinking and traumatizing us, I was heavily damaged, and there were no grown up no one to explain to me why my father was suddenly a monster, or I had to deal with it all alone. And so that was what it was like for me all my life, until I found YouTube and the psychologists on YouTube, because I had been to Swedish psychologists. I got a ADHD diagnosis, but I knew it wasn't enough. I knew there was something more wrong with me. I knew I had PTSD of some sort, some kind of PTSD, and thanks to YouTube and psychologists and life coaches like Richard Grannon, Sam Vaknin, Lisa A. Romano, what's it called, who wrote the book Human Magnet System, I was finally able to understand myself fully, and the complexity and the trauma that I suffered. And it's called complex PTSD, when you're repeatedly suffering from abuse, and you just emotional overwhelmed. The bodies can't deal with it, and you have no one to help you get through it. So you repeat. That's trauma. The system just goes haywire, and so you just get broken. And so, but thanks to YouTube, and thanks to these beautiful coaches and psychologists, and that I just mentioned, Thunder Wizard was also important to understand myself and my journey, because I'm on the life path of the shaman. But anyway, yeah, I lost track there. It was supposed to be about Jupiter. He's from Rome. Jupiter, in the myth, the god king in the myth, Jupiter. That's him who's here. And they named the star after him. So the only thing we know of when we look at the sky and see the star Jupiter is the god Jupiter from Rome. Otherwise, in Greece, he was known as Zeus. That's a slightly different aspect, because that's another people. And in Scandinavia, he's known as Thor. But he got the star system. This Jupiter got named from the Jupiterian god Jupiter. So he kind of lords the whole Jupiterian star system, even though there are loads of Jupiterian gods. like Thor ain't. Thor showed up like a couple of weeks ago, so I don't know him personally very well. But as we know, Thor from the Scandinavian myths, he's not. He doesn't. He's not a god king. He doesn't have that great big ego, and he doesn't. He's not like Jupiter who lords over all the gods and throws hair out in the the things he do. But when you see humans exhibiting like being Jupiter, because we are them and they are us, it's we live in unity consciousness, but we've been separated. Because of what I explained before, we had to separate men from gods, the gods from the men, from humans, and so on, because we were in hostage situations with them. So, but where was I? Yeah, he's so fucking cute, and he's come quite a bit from being. The Jupiter that he was in that myth, but he still exhibits some of those traits of that tyrannical Jupiter Zeus god. I feel closer to Zeus than Jupiter. I don't know, but it's because the angels have said that I've lived in Greece as a philosopher. And Zeus was the Greek version of Jupiter. So I don't know, I feel closer to Zeus. And I feel like Zeus is Jupiter in Sag, and Jupiter is Jupiter in Pisces. But I don't know if they worshipped Jupiter in his different signs. Like the Greeks worshipped Jupiter and Sag, while the Romans worshipped Jupiter in Pisces. I don't know. We don't know. Try to recover the history when humans constantly die and forget, and try to put, reincarnating and trying to put the pieces together to solve history. And is it even possible? I don't know. We just have to do our best and try to logically figure out how and what happened and what the truth is. It's we kind of have to be do it together, and because it's puzzling to say the least. But anyway, I don't know why I had to make a video about Jupiter. I just had to, because he's so fucking cute. And I got so much to say about Jupiter. He's given me so many great astral experiences, and scared me so much. I mean, shit, folks. Does he scare me when he shows his vile nature? And he's cool. If you know Pisces, it's if I have philosophized it correctly and counted it right, Pisces is the part where the massacre happens. The massacre of the corpse. When a person dies in Libra, that's where death happens. And then the corpse goes through stages. So if I'm correct in my astrological calculations, the massacre happens in Pisces. The massacre of the corpse, where the corpse gets you gotta study corpse. What's it called? Where those who the the medical staff personals that cuts up corpses, dissect them, and studies the corpse to determine what crime would kill them and stuff. They know the process of from the time when the death happens to when the corpse get massacred. And I'm pretty sure the massacre happens in Pisces, Jupiter's sign, because what happened during the last time era, age of Pisces, was indeed just a large massacre of people, just a large slaughter. The Inquisition just killing, burning, which is just the Inquisition just crusading all over the world, just killing, slaughtering people, slave trading, just like a corpse under the massacre, the massacre face of a corpse. But yeah, so he's gruesomely gruesome, Jupiter. At the same time, he's the most beneficent. And but when you watch him, and you watch him switch, you get it's far more scary than just meeting Saturn, knowing that now you're in the face of doom. You know you're fucked. Meeting Jupiter is like it's a kind one, and then he switches and they get it's far more scary. With Jupiter, he's far more scary than Saturn. So Jupiter has quite an interesting nature, being said to be the master of benevolence, while at the same time being the most gruesome, most cruelest, most like Sagittarius, the sign, one of the signs he rules. He rules two signs, Pisces and Sagittarius is known to be all of the whole fucking world wars, and known to be vertical fire, and all of the worst bombing machines, and the whole fucking war. Like not just like Mars is the like he shoots like a machine gun, and the sun is I mean, he's just, you know, the tyrant. But Jupiter in his fire sign, he's like the worst fucking bombing, you know, like the bazookas and the worst, biggest, largest fire bombing machines. And so I don't know. The astrologers have said he's so good and he's so kind and he's so, oh, but man, he's cool. Damn, he's this guy, the god Jupiter. He ain't just fucking kind and beneficent and all giving. Woo. If you know him, yeah, but his core nature is benevolent, and he doesn't like that everything he does is with a good intent. He wants good, but he's so emotionally gets so. I mean, he slaughters just to let goodness prevail. But I mean, he loses himself in his emotional temper tantrums. So he gets so fucking cruel with a good intent. It's highly puzzling. That's why we're so split. It becomes split like he means well, but all he does is cruelty. So it's like the humans who are Jupiterian, they haven't mastered their Jupiterian nature, because if you have a benevolent intent, you match that with the right action. But the Jupiterians who have lived, they haven't been able to match their good intent with a benevolent right action. And I don't mean to say that the action should always be kind, but it should be outthought, well planned, and no innocence should get hurt, and no, because they have been manipulating us and just using pure slaughter to get us to obey. And it's just he's just used the path of least resistance to just do as I say or die. And that has just made people obey in falseness just to survive, and made people utterly stupid and feminized. And he has demonized the devil and all strength, all the masculine archetypes that would have resisted him. He has demonized, like the devil and Satan and Saturn, who would have resisted him to death. He has demonized and just killed and tortured everyone who would have mentioned their names. So every man is so feminized and weak because they have no masculinity, because the devil, Satan, Pluto, all the gods that the Piscean, Jupiterian, Pope, King, ruling agents have demonized. They are the masculine strength. So that's why all men are so fucking emasculated. There are no real masculines left on earth because of what happened during the Piscean age. But yeah, the cruel guy has a good intent, but he has no idea how to put right action on that good intent to actually get his goal manifested in the world, because he's stupid. He's known as the most stupid of them all. Stupid, and the polar opposite to stupid is genius. He's also known as the genius, but sadly, one has to be stupid before one can be a genius. So we're just suffering all the undeveloped Jupiterians roaming this earth, sadly. Just pray and hope they go through evolution fast, so we don't have to suffer anymore. Like when the next Jupiterian age starts, that there will be no more stupid slaughter feast, because man, he's cruel. Jupiter can be cruel. I got quite abused. I was surprised how much he would let me get abused by the demons before he interfered. So he isn't so benevolent, Jupiter, the god Jupiter. He didn't like himself very well much after, because I looked at him and said, okay, that's how far you that's how much you let people get hurt before you intervene. And I was in tears because he was supposed to be the most benevolent, but it things aren't as they seem, or what people say, and you kind of have to experience and know the gods personally to know who they really are, and you can't really believe what anyone says here. You kind of have to experience everything to truly know. But anyway, it got kind of sad. I wanted to speak about I so much wish that I can get to tell the funny stories, because there are a lot of funny stories with communicating with these beings also. But there's so much trauma, so much sadness always involved. So I never get to really tell a just funny, happy story. But yeah, I'm getting kind of sad, so I gotta finish now. But lots of love.